as we come to the end, the conclusion of the Brexit transition period, I expect to see the Project Fear elements of the media try and create a narrative that the government must do a deal because that's what people expect. In actual fact, the data is now showing that the vast majority of Brits, and indeed those across Europe, do not think, are not confident of a deal being done between the UK and the EU. I'm going to bring you all the very latest on this, guys, but please start off as ever by clicking that subscribe button and click the bell so you don't miss future reports. So much going on. I don't want you to miss the very latest here on the Westminster channel. Now, just to give you the context of where we are in terms of British politics, as of the day I'm recording this, the latest YouGov polling shows that the Conservatives have just retaken the lead from the Labour Party. They're on 41% now, the Conservatives, Boris Johnson's Conservative Party, compared to 38% for Labour. But please note, the Brexit Party also on 3% in that YouGov poll. So the Conservatives leading. That's amidst the backdrop of this, that when you ask the British people if they think that a UK-EU deal, trade deal, is going to be done before the end of the year, only 15%, that's right, 15% of Brits are confident of a UK-EU trade deal being done by the end of 2020. Who's not confident? 72%, nearly 3/4 of Brits are not confident of a UK-EU deal being done. Now, we haven't got long to go, obviously. We're in October now. The transition period ends at the end of this year. So that's the context. The Conservatives are leading in the polls. The Brexit Party with a few percent as well, on top of the Conservative lead over Labour. And that's with just 15% of Brits confident that a UK-EU deal will be done by the end of the year. So any narrative that seems to, that pushes the idea that the British people expect the deal to be done between the UK and the EU actually isn't true at all. Only 15%, a very, very low number of Brits are confident of a deal being done between the UK and the EU by the end of 2020. It's interesting as well to look at the international comparisons on this that YouGov have done, because in Germany, just 17% of people are confident that a UK-EU trade deal will be done. 17%. In Denmark, it's even lower, 15%. And in Sweden and France, it's slightly higher with 20%. But, that's still only a fifth of people in those countries expecting a UK-EU deal to be done. I just want to highlight this because, you can see it right now. The media saying, well, the people of Britain and across the continent expect a deal to be done. Well, actually, they don't. They're not confident overwhelmingly. As I say, in Britain, it's around 3/4 of Brits now not confident that a deal will be done. Does the EU want a deal is another question that was asked by YouGov. 71% in Denmark, for instance, saying yes, they think the EU does want a deal. Big majorities across the board saying that they think the EU want to do a deal, including 58% of Brits, and only 16% of Brits saying that they don't think the EU want a deal or would rather not have a deal. Does the British government want a deal is another question that was asked in these surveys. So 39% of Brits think that the British government want a deal versus 34% who think they prefer not to have a deal. So they're quite close there. Only a 39% of Brits saying they think the British government want a deal, 34% saying they think the government would prefer not to have one. In Germany's evenly split on this, funnily enough, when it comes to the intentions of the British government. The Germans split 35-35 equal on whether they think the British government would prefer a deal or prefer no deal. Whilst, a stark difference you see here across in different European countries, because in Sweden and Denmark, a majority, 56% as it happens, in both Sweden and Denmark, say they think the British government wants a deal, versus only 35% in Germany and 39% here in the UK. Another question is on who has the upper hand in the negotiations. So half of Brits now believe the EU has an upper hand in the negotiations. France, funnily enough, the only nation in this survey where a great proportion believe Britain has the upper hand in negotiations, at 39% for the UK versus 30% backing the EU. And meanwhile, just to give you the context of where we are on all of this, Bloomberg with a report saying that the Brexit negotiations are at risk of breaking down within days after the UK government warned it will pull out of trade talks with the European Union if there is no clear deal in sight next week. Boris Johnson said previously, of course, that he wants that 15th of October deadline to be hit. EU officials have said they effectively are going to ignore that. They're not going to go along with that. They're not going to make concessions, is what they're saying, and are prepared, reportedly, to call the Prime Minister's bluff. So we'll have to see if Boris Johnson holds his bottle on that, effectively daring Johnson to walk away from these negotiations. Bloomberg report that a person familiar with the British position said Johnson's team, however, would indeed pull the plug on talks if no clear landing zone for a deal has been identified by that date. So I just wanted to bring you these figures because, again, it sort of flies in the face of some of what you're set to hear, I imagine. As I said, just 15% of Brits are now confident about a UK-EU deal being done. And as I said, that's with a backdrop of the Conservatives having a 3-point lead over the Labour Party, with the Brexit Party on 3% in that YouGov poll as well. So, as I said, one more time, the narrative that some may try and push, that there's a wide expectation that a deal is going to be done, simply isn't true. There's widespread pessimism in Britain and elsewhere, and hardly surprising when you look at the EU's position, status quo on fisheries, a whole series of EU demands, the so-called level playing field, whereby they want the UK to sign up to EU rules and restrictions to stop and limit and even kill off Brexit competitive advantage. All completely unacceptable demands, and we've heard all the way through from Lord Frost that these demands will be resisted. But of course, you have to, words are cheap. You have to see what actually happens at the conclusion of these negotiations. But as I said, I just thought I'd point out this polling as it shows you that there is no real expectation there or confidence either in the UK or elsewhere in Europe that a deal is going to be done. And as ever, guys, I'd love to hear from you. Love hearing your comments. Let me know what you think. Are you pessimistic about a deal? Are you one of those who thinks a deal will be done between the UK and the EU by the end of this year? And if so, do you think it's going to be a cave-in and concessions on the UK side, on the EU side? Let me know what you think is going to happen. I'd really like to get a sort of know what you guys are thinking in terms of the likelihood of there being a deal and what that deal you think will look like. Or do you think it's going to be no deal WTO? Do you think Boris is going to hold his nerve? Do you think the EU are going to continue with their hardline position? Let me know as ever what you think in the comments below, guys. And if you found this report helpful and informative, please remember to click that thumbs up button, click subscribe, click the bell so you don't miss future reports. Lots going on. I don't want you to miss the other future videos. I'm doing these nearly every day now. And as ever, guys, thank you very much for watching.